One last question from the audience before we wrap up the session. From Zain Manan. Worst case scenario again, what about home-based experiment as an option? You mentioned we could deal with this in avoiding university facilities to be more overwhelmed by makeshift labs. Just like our wish to avoid hospital being overwhelmed by patients. Can we have home-based experiment as an option to alter our assessment here?
Let me start with that particular question. Okay, when you talk about home-based experiment, it would depend so much on what kind of experiments, and definitely when it comes to engineering, it will be very limited because most of the machines that we use are machines that have to be calibrated. Okay. And even when we do the measurement, we have to make sure that the measurement is actually even attached to a PC to ensure that we get exact significant figures, right? So there are certain experiments that will require you to do it in the lab. For instance, if you are doing heavy structure laboratory, you're talking about huge samples, you cannot do it at home. You definitely have to do it in the university with the help of the technician, with the help of specialized people to handle the equipment. It is not as simple as a simple experiment that can be done at home. So for that, it would depend so much on what kind of program that they are dealing with. Yeah. Right. So for engineering, definitely we have to deal it with the university. Thank you.
It falls back to the program owner to the extent that things can be shifted to home-based experiment. Okay. Seems that we have quite a number of questions here. I think I should entertain a couple more. To Prof. Khairul, for instance, from Nur Hasmini, does MQA provide the FAQs in handling the online final exam or final assessment, especially in monitoring cheating or plagiarism matters?
Oh, okay. I haven't actually come up with this guideline for now. But I think if you refer to our code of practice for program accreditation for ODL, there are certain things that you can actually, especially area 2 on the student assessment and the area 6 and area 7 on the on the program management. So facilities as well, area 5. You can refer to that document. Because for all these ODL programs, they have to adhere to our code of practice for this ODL. So it's as a start, and all these documents, quality assurance documents by MQA are available in our website. So and if you have any questions, definitely we can you can always ask us through our Facebook and through our social media and also through our website.
Yeah, I think the ODL document should be a starting point for now because it's already there. The standard is there as a benchmark, I think, for now. Yeah.
Yes.
One more question. This is from Sandia. This is from the Star Reporter. What can universities do to ensure quality control during a time like this? And should university loosen marking grades for batches affected by the pandemic? Loosen marking grades. I think
as mentioned earlier by all the panelists, we are not compromising the quality.
Yeah.
So I think in the end, because we need to think from the students' perspective, they are graduating and they are the ones seeking jobs later. Don't want them to be considered as a second class.
Right. Yeah.
So I think to be fair to them, So we need to ensure that the quality is still adhered. You know, even with the pass-fail grade that we mentioned just now, of course, all the learning outcomes have to be attained by the students before the particular student can be allowed to be given a pass grade. So regardless of letter grade or pass grade, the main principle is the learning outcomes are achieved. So I think that is the main part that we need to highlight. So whether the relaxation on the methods and the way we conduct things is okay, but in terms of the final outcome of the students, that cannot be compromised. That's my point of view. Thank you.
May I add to that?
Yes, proceed.
Yeah, I think we all board of professional wouldn't like to see lowering of the quality. That is non-bargaining area. But as lecturer myself, I find that teaching during COVID-19 period using the online platform has become a lot busier than the conventional environment. I think in order to provide the right support for the students, we must not leave them in isolation at home. Working from home, the one bad thing about is it will lead students into isolation. So being alone. So we must always be generous with our time in providing support, checking on them regularly so that they know that we are closer to them than we were before. So by that, keep the moral high, and student through close monitoring, student will perform better. So I would prefer to go that way rather than talking about, can we, loosen up a bit about the grading and marks. Those are not the area of any lecturers in any university would do. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe lecturers, are doing their level best to support learning, even from a distance. I think the social presence during the online learning is very critical. And I think we are learning to familiarize ourselves with this kind of interaction. There's no face-to-face, very little synchronous lecture, but still maintaining good rapport with students is one of important ingredient for enhancing student learning experience.